I'm back out in the woods today rather than being on the beach. It's a little bit drafty and the weather is also blowing in that westerly direction, which would have blown straight onto that beach that I was at the last week. I've got the Pomoly tarp with me again, but I'm going to use it in a plough point configuration, and I'm sleeping on the amok mat again, but something a little bit different for supper this evening. So bear with me. I'm going to put the tarp up and I will film putting it up. I haven't done a plough point before, but it should be quite easy. Fingers crossed. Pretty vast. About halfway in. Nice and tasty in there, it's huge. And it's folded in half at the moment. Just in case anyone's wondering why you use this to blow it up, it's because it's an insulated mat. You don't want the humidity in your breath making the inside of the mat wet, because that will reduce the effectiveness of it. I believe that one has an R value of about 4, something like that. So I'd like to keep it that way. Something I've been meaning to try for quite a while. When I say quite a while, I mean I think I bought it in 2004. It was either 2004 or 2005. I was just taking some stuff down to the tip and I saw it for sale, and it cost me, I think it cost me 20p, and it's a spit roaster, and it has a little spit roaster motor. So you put the spit in there and you turn it on and it makes a bit of a noise, but I had planned to try and silence it a bit this morning, but it dropped off the bracket that slots on the back and broke the battery terminal, so I spent this morning fixing it rather than making it quieter. So it is going to make a bit of a noise, but never mind. Hey, I've got to fashion some way of holding it onto a stick, because it's got this bracket which normally bolts onto a barbecue. So my cunning plan is to use, I've got a couple of those rubber bungee sort of things, and I'm going to see if I can attach it to a stick. But I have to make sure that I leave the spit hole free, so it doesn't, the stick doesn't obscure it. So it can only be about 1.25 inches round, but I'm pretty sure I've got something that'll do it. So yes, that's what tea is going to be cooked on tonight. I'm going to do a chicken, which I bought yesterday, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I can't see why it wouldn't work. I've got my stick, and I just use this elastic thing that's just wrapped around the bracket. It's quite a tight fit in there anyway. So we'll see if that should mount on. Yeah, like that. You can't see it now. So we knock that into the ground, and the spit just locates in it like that. And turn it on. And it makes an awful noise. Right, I need to get on and fashion some sort of a fire. Seems like the wind's changed direction there. Never mind. I think we'll put the fire there, and then we can watch the chicken roasting a bit later. Well, there you have it, the finished creation. I'll move the camera back. It's a little bit noisy, but that's doable. Well, the spit roast is set up. I've got the fire. I brought a little bit of wood with me, and I'm just going to go and cut some more bits of wood with my trusty pruning saw. Oh, this is home for the night. So you see the chair, the table, the paraphernalia, and then at the back there's my bed with the sleeping quilt on it. Got some firelighters today. So it's time to mount the chicken on the spit. It's obviously important to make sure you get one that doesn't have any giblets. Shove that on. Shove that on there. So it wants to roll that way, so we adjust the weight. It's important when you've been handling chicken out in the woods, or in fact anywhere, to make sure you wash your hands, because there can be some nasties on the chicken. Something I did forget to mention is when you're ever spit roasting something, it needs to be an indirect heat, so don't put it straight above the fire, because all that happens is you get it smoky and it burns. If you offset it slightly, it gives you a much more even cook without burning it. I was just thinking, I'm sitting here watching this chicken turn on the spit, and it reminded me of a really funny situation. It was a bittersweet thing. My niece's boyfriend had lost his battle against cancer, and so my mum, my wife and I flew to America to the celebration of life for this lad Jake, who was a fantastic lad. And my sister had said to me that his dad Bill wanted to do a hog roast, and would I help with it? And I said, yes, of course I will. You know, I've done a couple of them. So anyway, the day arrived, and the hog roaster turned up, and it almost needed a Hiab to offload it. It was vast. And I should have known that there was something a little now at that point. Anyway, about half an hour later, these two burly chaps turned up, great blokes, in a huge pickup. And they came over and they said, oh, you Richard, you know, you're doing the hog roast. I said, well, I'm not doing it, I'm helping with it. And they said, oh right, okay. And I said, when's the pig coming? I said, oh, it's in the back of the truck. I said, what? Because when we'd done it, we had in refrigerated vehicles and stuff. Anyway, I looked in the back of this pickup truck, like that. I'm 6'4" and I'm hovering over the top of it like that. And they created a polythene kind of bunded area in it, and they'd filled it with ice, and this pig was in there, and it was the biggest pig I've ever seen. And I said, how big is that? And they said, I think it's about 240 pounds. What? The biggest one I've ever cooked was, I think, 62 kilos, which is 130 something pounds. And it was vast. Anyway, Jake's dad turned up, Bill, and he is such a lovely bloke, a real stellar fella. And we kind of looked at this thing and thought, oh, okay. And so the four of us struggled to put it into this hog roaster, and the hog roaster had a you didn't have a spit that went through the pig, so it didn't go through the pig. Not that it's a bit rude. It didn't go through the pig, but it had these two frames which were covered in weld mesh, and you basically they had a spigot on each end for the spit, and then you sandwiched it between these two plates, and then you used, I think it must have been an M20, an M24 thread bar, and you bolted the thing in there. Anyway, we did all of that, and we put the pig into the hog roaster, and Bill set about, he got one of those charcoal rocket things, you know, that you start charcoal with. So he started the charcoal, and he chucks a load of charcoal in the bottom, and I said, aren't we supposed to be putting the fire in those baskets? And he said, and he said this, he said, hold my beer, I've got this. Remember that phrase. And anyway, the charcoal rocket was ready, so he put the charcoal in the bottom of the lit charcoal in the bottom of the hog roaster, and we put the lid on, and I thought, because normally you use an indirect heat, as I'm doing with that chicken. And anyway, there must have been about 12 minutes later, the flames started licking through the top of this hog roaster. I said, bloody hell, Bill, I think it's on fire. So we whipped the lid off, and sure enough, this thing was, I mean, it was properly on fire. And I have no idea to this day how the two of us managed to get this pig out. But it was, Bill was on one end, I was on the other end, and we just had this inferno between us. And we put it on the back of his pickup truck, and managed to snuff it out. And we snuffed it out, and we then Abe, this chap Abe arrived, who he's very, very experienced in this stuff, and he told us we were both bloody idiots because we should have put the charcoal in the baskets. And I'm like, yeah, okay then. And anyway, we put the charcoal in the basket, put the hog back in, and then Mark came home, who's Penny, my sister's husband, and we said, oh, well, it's not turning, so we're just kind of turning it a little bit. And he said, oh, okay, well, give me the motor and I'll go and have a look at it. Anyway, he came back and he fixed the motor, so we were able to then have it turning. And I think for a 60 kilo pig, we cooked it for about 7 or 8 hours, something like that. And a 240 pound pig, I think they were banking on it being about 27 hours, something like that. And Abe, to be fair to Abe, he stayed with the pig all the way through, and he was operating the air valve because they were hot smoking it as well. So they had, I don't know what sort of wood it was, but they were putting bits of wood in and smoking it. But yes, that was what this reminded me of. And Bill, he actually did a seafood boil, which is something that they do quite a lot of in America, and it was absolutely fantastic. And he said on that one, hold my beer, I've got this. But it was the day was brilliant, and I know that Jake will have been looking down and saying, hey Dad, I'll hold your beer, I know you've got that. It was a really, really lovely day. And yeah, so that was kind of what this reminded me of. Although hopefully it's not going to take 30 hours. It's looking much better now, but I think we're probably looking at maybe another half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. So I just thought I'd share that with you. And just in case you wanted to know what I was doing, I've done fajitas in a previous video, but I decided this time that I'd do kind of a bit of a twist on it, just have a play around. So I'm just getting the chorizo cooked so I can use the oil to cook the the vegetables. Put the veg in. Got a bit of fajita seasoning as well, which I'm going to put on the veg. Normally you put this on the chicken. I don't know whether you can see the chicken, it's looking tasty. I think she's cooked. Oh, she's cooked. Swap those over. Then, oops. Sour cream. That's it. Like that, is it? Little guacamole. Not the nicest delivery, but that's what it is. This is just chopped tomatoes and onions. I'm just going to put some of those in, and some of this fantastic chicken. And then from the frying pan, some of these chorizo batons. And a bit of peppers and onions and all sorts. over there. Might have overstuffed this one. Don't worry, they'll overstuff me now. So there you go. A spit roast chicken, chorizo, onion, pepper, garlic, tomato, guacamole and sour cream wrap. Let's see what this tastes like. That is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Took a long time for the chicken to cook, but it's cooked really well. It's nice and moist. Lovely. Need to wash it down with a... Where's the light? There. Cheers, everyone. Well, thank you for joining me in the woods today. Must say that chicken and chorizo and vegetable wrap was really tasty. It's about 11 o'clock now and fire's died down. It's getting a bit chilly, so I'm going to hit the hay. So yes, I'll see you in the morning. And I think it's going to be a really comfy night. Good night. Good morning, everyone. Another cracking night. I slept pretty well. I did wake up a few times, but not because I was cold, or I don't really know why I did. But it was really comfy, nice and warm. It's great, and it's a nice day today. It was a bit. There's a kind of a bit of dampness on everything this morning. Which I guess you wouldn't get if you were using a tent. No, it's absolutely cracking. The sun's just coming up now. So it's time to put the kettle on. I'm sure most people have seen these before, little twig stoves, but you can use an alcohol burner in them. Seems to have a frog in the throat. When you use it with an alcohol burner, you don't need to use most of it. That's pretty much it. So let's fill that up. You might actually have some left in it from the last time I used it. Maybe a little bit. And it's also, the fuel's quite cold, and when this stuff's cold it's hard to light. But that's better. I think if you were going to do this with a flint and steel, you'd probably have to put this in your sleeping bag with you. And also, in case you were wondering why I'm using the alcohol stove, it's because I don't want to light the fire again, because I'm only here for another hour and a half-ish. So I didn't want to light the fire and then have to go and get some water to put it out again. The old currant bun is just about to poke its way through the clouds. Here it comes. Lovely morning. All the bluebells are starting to push their way through. It's nice to see. A couple of months we should have, it should be covered in here. There's something that I found last night. I've not been happy with the audio quality that the videos have had because it's been quite inconsistent, and it shouldn't be. I've got one of these, it's a Sony 2-part receiver microphone, and I've been diligently turning it on, but it hasn't had the quality that it should have had. And I worked out last night why. There's a switch on the side of the bit that goes on the camera that says microphone or receiver. Well, as it's the receiver, I'd assumed that you had to have it on the receiver part because it's receiving. How stupid am I? No, you have to have it on the mic part, which I thought would then revert to the camera mic, but no. So you should find from now on that the sound is more consistent on the videos. Fingers crossed. So I just thought I'd let you know why there'd been some sound issues in the past. Some streaky bacon. And then some chipolatas, which I didn't separate. So I've gone with the eggs easy over today. I'm just going to put the sausages on the plate. And the bacon. And then try not to throw everything everywhere. A bit of salt. And there you have it. The breakdown breakfast. Well, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I thoroughly enjoyed this camp. It was brilliant. And that spit roasted chicken, waiting as long as you have to to eat it, it certainly gets your digestive juices flowing. Yes, thank you very much. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and hit the like button if you like the video. And please do feedback. Give me feedback about the video. If you like it, if you don't like it, if there are things that you would like to see in it, things you'd like me to do, then let me know. So I'll see you on the next video. Thank you. Bye.